All right, let's talk about something that's, well, it's a genuine game changer. I'm talking about a real revolution in how we build things for the web. Imagine going from a design to actual working code with just one click. Yeah, you heard that right. Let's dive in.
Okay, so think about it for a second. When you're trying to build an app, what's the hardest part? Like, what's that one thing that always grinds everything to a halt and just gives you a massive headache?
It's not usually the idea, right? Ideas are everywhere. No, the real killer is that huge, massive gap between the beautiful, pixel-perfect design on one side and the actual working code on the other. Getting from A to B has always been the slow, manual, and honestly kind of painful process. But what if you could just close that gap, like instantly? What if you could take that design, press a single button, and poof, it becomes real working software? That is the incredible, almost unbelievable promise we're going to unpack right now. So, to really get why this is so huge, we've got to look at the old way of doing things. Let's call it the architect's dilemma. And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got the old way. It's manual, super tedious, and let's be honest, it's just begging for errors to creep in. A designer hands over a picture, and a developer has to painstakingly translate every single pixel into code. It takes forever. But then, look at the other side, the new way. It's instant, it's AI-powered, and I'm not kidding, it feels like actual magic. So how does this magic actually happen? Well, we're going to use a really simple analogy to explain it. The magic 3D printer. This is how we can think about the tools making this all possible. First up, think of yourself as an architect. Your job is to draw the detailed blueprint for a building. In our world, that blueprint is your UI design, and the tool you're using to draw it is Google Stitch. Okay, so you've got your blueprint. Now, normally, you'd hand this off to a whole construction crew and it would take months, right? But not here. Here, you take that blueprint and you feed it into our magic 3D printer. And that printer is AI Studio, running with the crazy powerful Gemini 3 Pro model inside. It just takes your blueprint and instantly prints the entire thing, a fully built product ready to go. So the secret sauce here is that seamless connection between Stitch and AI Studio. It's not just sending a picture over, it's sending the entire context of the design. Gemini 3 Pro understands it all automatically, which means no more manually copying and pasting little bits of code. That whole nightmare? Gone. Okay, so that's the high-level idea. It sounds amazing, but how does it actually work? Let's break down the step-by-step. And this is the crazy part. It is so simple. Step 1, you make your design in Stitch. Step 2, you select everything on the screen. Step 3, you hit Export and pick AI Studio. And finally, Step 4, you just talk to the AI. Tell it what you want. That's it. 4 steps. Done. And you don't need to write some complicated command or anything. You can literally just type, "Build this for me." It's that simple. You're just having a conversation and asking it to bring your design to life. So for all you tech nerds out there, and I know you're out there, you're probably wondering what's happening under the hood. Well, here's the quick version. Stitch basically bundles up your design into this special package. It's sent to AI Studio as what's called a multimodal prompt. Fancy words for it sends the pictures and the structure. Then Gemini 3 Pro gets to work. It looks at everything, understands the visual hierarchy, and makes smart connections. It sees a magnifying glass icon and goes, "Ah, that's a search bar." And then it just spits out clean, standard HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to make it all work. Okay, so we know how it works, but the real question is, so what? Why does this actually matter? Let's look at a real-world example to see just how big of an impact this can have. So put yourself in the shoes of a QA engineer. Your job is to test things, right? You need a realistic app, say a little e-commerce page, so you can run your automation scripts. But here's the problem. You don't have hours, or maybe even the coding chops, to build a whole test app from scratch every time you need one. And this chart just says it all. The old way. We're talking hours, maybe even days of someone manually coding this thing. But the new way, you go from idea to a live test app in seconds. The amount of time and effort you save it's just staggering. It's a total game changer.
So look, this isn't just another cool feature. It's basically a new superpower. Let's wrap this up with the most important takeaways and a few pro tips to help you hit the ground running.
All right, here's some pro tips to get you the absolute best results. First, in Stitch, make sure you use Pro Mode. It just gives you higher quality designs to start with. Second, and this is a big one, Always select all your screens before you export. You want to give the AI the full picture, the whole context. And for my QA folks out there, here's a killer tip. You can actually ask the AI to add data test ID attributes right into the code for you. How cool is that? Makes automation way easier. Now, just a little heads up, this works best with pretty standard UI layouts. If you have some super crazy avant-garde design, you might still need to do a little manual tweaking. So, what's the bottom line here? The big takeaways? Number 1, you now have a no-code to code pipeline right at your fingertips. Number 2, Gemini 3 Pro is the absolute beast of an engine making it all happen. For developers, this means no more wasting time on boring boilerplate code. And for QAs, it means you can spin up high-quality, disposable test apps whenever you need them, instantly. So remember that gap we talked about at the very beginning? That huge canyon between a great idea and a real, tangible product? Well, that gap just got a whole lot smaller. It's practically closed. So the only question left for you is, now that you have this power, what are you going to create first?